So magkadaghan ang activity. So di na din makapasa. Then ang mahitabo mong wala ka bala kung unsay mga activity nga buhaton, di ba? Kaya dili man updated. So see to it that you are updated in our weekly activity. So tan-awin mo dito sa ato ang Facebook group unsay mga latest activity. So you're still 30. So gamay pa ang nag-attend sa atong meeting. So ang nagapasa sa activity number 1, Maestre, Pilahe, Bisinga, Badilla, Langrio, Palang, Pais, Agkina. Sulis, Nipaya, Laurenti, Katulong, Aspira, Flores, Gapir, Tampos, Puasan, Ayo, Llanos, Toraray, Gagnan.
Present lang self Manara.
Sa Abidra, Hirira. So mga pa yung nakasubmit sa activity number 1. So hoping nga mapasa ninyo karon ang inyong activity number 1.
Ay, nagpasa ko ganina morning, sir.
Lang Rio, nagpasa ka ganyan sa iyo?
Buntag, sir, yes.
Nag-passport ko gahapon, sir.
Na si Kuan. Lang Rio. Okay na.
Palangan, sir. Nag-passport ko, sir.
Badelik, sir. Nagpas na gabi eh.
Palangan, anaas Palangan.
Badelik, sir.
Badelik. Sansei?
Yes, sir.
Okay na.
Abkina po, sir. Napasa ko gahapon, sir.
Abkina.
Yes, sir. Abkina Christian, sir.
Okay na.
Na, sir?
Yes na.
Thank you, sir.
So, binabi, katong pa nakahimo, no? That is
Laurenti, sir. Nagpas ko gabi eh.
progress charts, no? Maghimo mo og progress charts katong pa nakasubmit. So, nakalimot na ang uban. So, tanawan niyo dito sa ato ang Facebook group na dito ang i-post ang activity. Okay, shall we start? 35. Nagagamay man ta karon. 35 na lang ang nag-attend. Okay, so good morning once again. So our topic for this morning is all about supervised work-based learning. So we are now in third core competency. No? Pinamata sa ato ang facilitate learning session, then proceed to sa supervised work-based learning. So our first topic is all about work-based training. So objectives: define and explain work-based training. Enumerate the objectives of work-based training. So work-based training is one of the best component of competency-based training. It is a training approach that aims towards the acquisition of competencies that directly related to the actual industry practices. So using this mode, the training will enhance and concretize skills that are learned in an in-house training. So every trainer should be responsible for the on and off the job training of his trainees. So discussion on this module will develop your skills and competency in planning, implementing, monitoring, and evaluating the work-based learning of your trainees. So this learning outcome requires you to learn how to establish training needs, and develop a training plan for work-based training. So to be able to make a training plan, you must learn how to establish training needs and consider guidelines of work-based training. Okay, so let us define what is work-based training. Is a training delivery mode by which trainees are exposed in the workplace. Training shall be done in coordination with industry training provider through a memorandum of agreement or training agreement. So it involves a training plan agreed and approved by both parties. So a training plan shall be provided as a guide in the conduct of training in the workplace. So the paid or unpaid work experience must be monitored by a qualified trainer, training coordinator. So when we see work-based training, so after the training, so nakita gitawag og work-based training. So sa maning we have different types of work-based training. Number one, we have the job shadowing, no? Sa maning job shadowing. So it is a school supervised career exploration activity wherein trainees visit work site and shadow employees as they perform their job. So job shadows emphasize observing the workplace, not participating as a productive worker. So when you see job shadowing, muna siya gitawag og field trip, no? Nakaagi na ba mo og field trip? Since sa iyong first year college? Wala pa. So field trip, maadto ni siya og, for example sa inyo sa electromechanical, no, mag-conduct mo, magsabot mo, mag-field trip mo, maadto mo og isa ka industry. Example, maadto mo og Philippine Center diya sa Villanueva, no, steel company. So sa ibaton sa field trip, muna siya gitawag og job shadowing, no. So maadto dito sa industry just to observe the workplace, no? Not participating as a productive worker. So dili ka pwede manghilabot, no? Observe lang ka, tanaw lang ka dito sa mga production operator, yun sa nila pag unsa ilang gibuhat, no? Unsa ilang mga machine nga gigamit. Nga unsay mga machine nga wala sa ato ang school, no? Nga naa dito sa ila nato makita. So, job shadowing. Observe lang mo dito, tanaw lang. So the job shadowing provides a trainees a meaningful introduction to the world of work and provides a context for understanding the relationship and interaction between the competencies taught in the training institution and the workplace. So, ano siya? So, example, automotive, mag-field trip na dito sa Toyota. So, makita nila dito unsay mga activity nga gabuhaton, no? Actual gyud nga gabuhaton sa mga technician. So, that student or the trainee shall observe, no? Example, yun sa pag troubleshoot ang isa ka na problema nga sakyanan, no? Yun sa pag-troubleshoot. Yun sa paggamit ang scanner kay electronics sa mga vehicle karon. Na trouble gigamitan og scanner para makita ang trouble. So, the trainee mag-observe lang sigid siya, no? Dili siya ka participate. Then another work-based training is the gitawag na to internship, no? Internship. So, internship help trainees move from school to workplace by offering hands-on learning in real work setting over a relatively long period of time. They are school supervised and may be paid or unpaid. The internship is designed to give trainees a better sense of the job within a particular business or industry. To provide trainees with information about all aspects of the business and to aid them in understanding through experience how each part of the company aids another in meeting the goals and objectives of a business or industry. So, ano siya internship, no? Hands-on learning. So, it is a long period of time. Like for example, kanang mga nautical, no? Wagi sila og internship, no? Pila ka bulan dito sa barko, musakay gid sila actual. So dito gid nila ma-experience unsa gid ang actual nga gabuhaton dito sa barko, no? Internship. So another one we have apprenticeship program o sa ato pa ni is OJT, di ba? Nag-conduct og OJT. Nakaagi na ba mo og OJT? O apprentice? Naba na sa inyong kuan karon? Curriculum, inyong subject ninyo, naama mo yung apprentice. Kung saan mo mag-apprentice? Third year or fourth year?
Naka-OJT mi sir, senior high.
Sa senior high, but dire sa USTP na college. Wagi mo yapon mo OJT. Unsa lang nga year level mo mag-OJT sa electromechanical? Wala pa?
Kuan, sa third year sir, online na mi ato sir.
Sa third year mo, online lang.
Oh.
So during sa third year, no, naamoy summer, nabutang sa summer.
Yes sir, yes sir.
Okay. So apprentice is a training and employment program involving a contract between an apprentice and an employer on an approved apprenticeable occupation. Generally, it aims to provide a mechanism that will ensure availability of qualified skilled workers based in industry requirements. The period of apprenticeship covers a minimum of 4 months and a maximum of 6 months. Only companies will approve and register apprenticeship program under TISTA can be hired apprentices. Okay. So, when we see apprentice or OJT, hands-on na mo dito sa industry, no? Example, electrical, no? So, asa mo mag-OJT dito sa Sipalco. Diba? Or adto mo sa kanang agency sa Sipalco nga mag-install sa mga meter, no? Meter base. So dito mo maka-hands-on sa pagtaon sa mga meter base, no? O dito mo sa industry, sa planta gid mismo, no? Nestle ba ka, Del Monte, o makasunod mo itong OGT, dito gid mo ma-hands-on sa ilang plant industry. Unsay pamagi sa ilang electrical dito, no? Ikan sa dagko nga mga motor, paingon sa gagmay nga motor, nasapayan sa atong electricity, no? How to troubleshoot, natanan dito. Mga dagko nga contactor, ikan sa gagmay, paingon sa dagko, no? So dito na kita maka-actual sa ato ang unsay sa gidiscuss sa eskwelahan, sa tsuri na to, ato na siyang ma-apply sa actual during sa ato ang apprenticeship or OGT, apprentice. So other company mo provide sila og allowance but na po ibang nga wala, no? Wala allowance, depende sa company. Another type of work-based training is dual training system, no? So it is an instructional mode of delivery for technology-based education and training in which learning takes place alternately in two venues, the school or training center and the company. So when we see dual, school and industry, no? Pag mag-training sa school, then after that, madto dito sa industry. Dual training system. Another one is school-based enterprise, no? School-based enterprise typically involve trainees in management of business that produces or sells goods and services as part of the school program. School-based enterprise activities help trainees increase their skills in problem solving, business operation, time management, and working in teams. So the SBE, school-based enterprise, is typically located at school and a popular work-based strategy for school district without access to many local employers. Okay, so that's all about work-based training, no? Job shadowing, internship, apprenticeship, or OGT and dual training system, and school-based enterprise. So let us proceed to industry linkage. So objectives: describe the activities needed to establish linkage with industry for purpose of work-based training. Enumerate the responsibilities of trainers and work-based training. So, ang school is mangita na gid siya og industry linkage. Kaya for example sa USTP, so nanay mga industry nga nanay mga memorandum of agreement, no, in other indifferent industry. Asa mo dapat ibutang during sa inyong apprenticeship, no, or OGT. So lagi na sa memorandum of agreement. So work-based training is a training in actual work setup. The training institution may option to establish an enterprise such as a parlor, automotive shop, or small restaurant, canteen for purpose of work-based training. In most cases, however, you need to establish linkages with the industry for purpose of work-based training. The previous information sheets gives you a legal basis establishing a working relationship with the industry for the purpose of the training. That's why nga ang school mobisita gid sa different industry, no, para makakuha gid siya og memorandum of agreement Para sa iyo na dayon pag labay sa mga bata during OJT. Kaya na may ibang company nga mo balibad, no? Balibad sila nga di sila makuha og apprentice. So, maning kamot gid ang school na makakuha gid siya og industry partner. This lesson will discuss preparation that you need to establish industry linkage. Establishing industry linkage, industry partnership is a very important aspect of work-based training. As a trainer, you should be aware of the process involved in establishing linkage. You should be directly involved in this process so that you will be able to plan the training of your trainees. So, number 1, so as a trainee, maghimo gid ka og training plan, no? Number 1 is search for prospective industry partner. So, mangita ka og industry partner. Choose an industry where training of about 60-70% of the course component can be carried out. Look for industry that has the potential to meet the standard of organized work-based training. So, ito pong mga industry kapag mo cater sa atong mga student. Like for example, automotive, pili yung ginato ang mga dagko nga automotive distributor. For example, Toyota, di ba? Mitsubishi, Isuzu. So, dito ginato siya ilabay ang atong mga trainee. Saka sa inyo po sa college is mga dagko nga industry, no? Nestle, Philippine Center, Del Monte, no? Ano siya. Or sa electricity, mga dagko nga provider diri sa ato si Palco and sa Misor, no? Miss Ortel, Miss Ortel ba na siya? Sa Misamis Oriental. So, ano siya? Second is in proposal letter, follow-up and visitation. Third one is set up appointment for presentation, no? Then presentation may be in the form of slides presentation, video presentation, use of brochure or poster. Conduct site visit for work-based training plan. So, atuan gid ang industry, no? Training plan aims to synchronize the curriculum of the school with the in-plan training activities of the trainees. Finalize the training plan, a memorandum of agreement, o gitawag nato og MOA, or memorandum of understanding, MOU. 7, present the training plan and MOA MOU for approval. Placement of the trainees in the industry. Number 9, coordination on monitoring. So as a trainer, we are the responsible nga mo-basic kita dito sa atong mga training nga atong gipala dito sa 4 or GT, no? Conduct regular visit to the industry and monitor the activities of the work-based training. Any adjustment made on the training plan shall be noted during monitoring. And work-based training evaluation. So an evaluation of the conduct of the training should be done both attainment of the objectives of the program and on program implementation. So sa evaluation, ang industry, either the foreman, supervisor, manager, sila ang mag-conduct sa evaluation for the trainee. So katong mga nag-OJT, na sila evaluation, no, pagkahuman sa OJT. But kasi nga ang maghimo sa evaluation is supervisor o katong ilang leadman. Okay, duties, role of the industry, no, during the work-based training. Number 1 is provide job orientation training. Second, provide practical training in areas which had been determined. Third, appoint training coordinator who shall be responsible for assignment, designation of trainee supervisor in the respective areas where the trainees will be assigned. Then provide training materials, tools, equipment during the training. Remind supervisor about the work-based training activities. Provide opportunity to learn by doing. Provide trainees with professional skills, experience, techniques, and behavior in the real-life situation. And organize work-based training station and program. So, may siyang role sa atong industry partner. Then, the role of the trainees. Ang mag-OJT, no? Mga bata. So, be physically fit for the work-based training. Possess the ability to comprehend and flow oral and written instruction. Exhibit proper discipline at all times. So, importante nyo. Discipline. Exhibit proper work habits and attitude. Acceptable to the company. Follow company rules and regulation. So, once ka na kayo sa OJT, importante kayo ang atong attitude, follow the rules and regulation of the company. Then, dili na ingon nga sige kalit, then absent, no? Okay, during sa OJT, na ay possibility na ma-hire, no? Ma-hire ang the OJT, no? The student. After graduation, pwede siya i-hire sa company. Kung tsada ang iyang performance, no? Makauyon ang mga supervisor, manager, so pwede kanila i-hire. So, dali ra imong employment. Kung tsada ang imuhang attitude during apprentice, no? Use only facilities allowed by the company or the trainees. Be prompt and regular in attendance. So, importante kay attendance. Sige kang kalit, sige absent. Okay, wala din kay choice dito sa mga supervisor. Kaya mo ganun number 1 nga kunta sa company. Late and absenteeism. Be alert in following direction. Cooperate with other trainees and industry supervisor. Accomplish required forms. Allow to instant for company to doubt honesty in workplace and company. So, muna siya rule sa ato ang trainee na mag-conduct sa work-based training. Okay. Let us proceed. Na question about sa industry linkages. Let us proceed to training plan. Okay, the objectives of the training plan is define a training plan, differentiate a training plan from session plan, identify the parts of the training plan, and describe how to accomplish each column of the training plan. So, as a trainer, we are the one responsible to make a training plan. No? Mag-himo og training plan before the trainee employed to the industry. Before sila ipadala dito sa industry. So before deploying your trainees to the industry training, a thorough planning based on the training is very important. So this plan shall serve as an agreement between the industry and your training institution. This will serve as a guide in implementation of industry training of the individual trainee. So what is training plan? Training plan is a description of how a training will be done. The flow of the training from input to end result, including resources that will be used The objectives of the training plan is to define the strategies, tasks, and method that will be used to meet the training requirements. The training plan will outline who will deliver the training and when and where your apprentice or trainee needs to go and receive the structured component of the training. Okay, what to include in the training plan? The training plan must specify the following: the competencies to be obtained. So, unsay mga competencies nga dapat makuha sa trainee. The time frame for the competencies. Okay, time frame makuha gid ang competencies. The training to be undertaken. The delivery mode to be employed. Who is responsible for the delivery and assessment of its competency? So dito na siya sa industry, no? So kasagaran is the supervisor, no? May responsible sa assessment. Responsible for the delivery and assessment of its competency. Assessment details and arrangement. The name of the qualification to be issued. Any other specific requirements to be met in accordance with the particular training contract in question. So, muna siya ang training plan. So, we have the steps preparing the training plan. First is identify the trainees' training requirements. No? Sa mga yung trainees' training requirements. So, katong mga competency nga where the student needed nga dili gid nila makuha nga maglisod sila. Then wala pod sa atong school, no? Example, kulang lack of equipment. So kani nga competency, lack of equipment. So dapat mao na sa imong buhatan og training plan. So list the competencies of learning content outcome that the trainees need to learn. Down the module title, module of instruction, determine the training duration. Second, sequence the training module in logical order so that each element of the job is learned. Identify the training activity or task that the trainee will perform to learn the training requirement. Identify the person who will be involved in the trainee supervisor. So, kinsay mga tao involved sa ani, ibutang nimo dito. Example, leadman, supervisor, or manager. Identify the facilities, tools, and equipment needed. Identify the venue of the training, schedule of the training, date, and time. Okay, this is the guide in making a training plan. No? So, qualification, example, electrical installation and maintenance. Butang na to, example lang. So, dinis sa trainees training requirements. These are the competencies or learning outcome that the trainees need to learn based on the result of the training need assessment. So, din ito ibutang katong mga competencies or learning outcome nga where the student needed. Mo ilang i-training dito sa industry. Training activity task. No? These are the activities, tasks that the trainees need to perform to learn the competencies or learning outcome. It will be discussed in the industry, trainer, supervisor, the company, and actual workplace. So, unsa ilang task dito nga activity nga gabuhaton, no? Ang dapat matun-an sa trainee ang makuha. Mode of training. This refers to the medium used to deliver the training facilitate the learning. So, mode of training. Stop. The personnel of the involved in the training coordinator, supervisor, if possible, the name of the person should be written. So, sa industry na siya, no? Kinsay atong involved dito nga For example, supervisor nila, lead man baka, no? Ang responsible ani nga training, no? Makanak sa training. Facilities, tools and equipment, no? The resources that will be needed during the conduct of the program. They could use the training regulations, CBC or the reference. So unsay mga facilities na wala sa school, muna imong ibutang diri. Para pag-abot sa industry, dito gid sila mabutang, no? Kay kanay kulang gini sa school, wala nila ma-actual. So dinhi mo siya ibutang sa facilities, tools and equipment. The venue, the place where the training will be conducted. So, example, dito mo si Palco dito ang ibutang. Assessment arrangement, assessment and judgment, quality of evidence is order to conclude whether you achieve the learning objectives or not. No? So, unsay assessment methods nga gamiton ani, no? Siyempre, demonstration, observation, di ba? During sa training. So, tanawon sa supervisor kung obserbahan ka, sakto ba na imong gibuhat, di ba? Date and time. So, unsang adlaw, unsang simanahan niya, kani nga training may tabo, di ba? In every task or activity. So, muna siya ang format sa training plan, no? So, muna siya ang blank form sa atong training plan. So I will show you another sample of training plan, no? Okay, example sa training plan. This is qualification, electrical installation and maintenance in situ. So, muna na siya, no? Trainees, training requirements. Ang ibutang dire is atong learning outcome which is needed by the trainees. Ikinahanglan ginila nga matun-an sa industry, no? So, example na siya, prepare sa learning outcome ni siya makuha, no? Prepare electrical, power, and hydraulic tools. Using siya, learning outcome niya, no? Then, ayang topic is select electrical, power, and hydraulic tools. Maintain electrical, power, and hydraulic tools, no? So, training activity. So, unsa may lang dapat ani nga may bawaan dito sa industry, no? So, this is all about electrical power and hydraulic tools. So, ang ilang task nga dapat buhaton is select proper electrical power and hydraulic tools. No? Then, mode of training, internship, no? Stop. Okay, kasi mag-conduct ani sa training dito sa industry, either foreman, the electrician, or the supervisor. What are the facilities, tools, and equipment nga dapat nila mahibawan, nga matrainingan? Dapat ang impact drill, rotary hammer, hydraulic pipe bender. No? So, ngayon, kabutang diri. Binyo, unsa ni nga industry, tang diri sa Palco. Assessment method nga gamiton is observation and interview. No? So, pag do the actual activity sa atong bata o sa trainee, imong obserbaran, then interview on how to operate the tools and equipment. Date and time. Date na nakapagawang diri is May 27. No? Muna siya pizza. To conduct this training. No? Then another is maintain electrical power and hydraulic tools. So what are the tasks or activity nga dapat buhaton sa bata. Lubricate impact drill, no? Check hydraulic oil level. Check hydraulic pipe bender oil seal for possible damage. Inspect oil leakage. So, mode of training, okay, the same, internship or apprenticeship or OJT, pwede. Kinsa dapat ang mukandak ani dito sa industry, foreman, electrician, or the supervisor. Tools and facilities, so the same, impact drill, rotary hammer, hydraulic pipe bender. So, binyos, sipalco. The same assessment method, observation interview, then the date sa pizza. So, muna sa example sa ato ang training plan. So, this is your activity number 2. No? Activity number 2 ninyo is maghimo mo og training plan. No? So, example ang inyong gihimo sa progress chart is SMAW o electronics. Mao ba ito inyong buhatan sa inyong training plan, no? So, mangita mo dito, example lang, no, nga UC. Isa lang ka UC, then isa ka learning outcome. So, like for example, ano is prepare electrical power and hydraulic tools. And yung learning outcome is select electrical power and hydraulic tools, maintain electrical power and hydraulic tools. Then, magbuhat ka og training activity task nga unsay dapat ani nga buhaton, unsay activity sa bata nga dapat may bawaan dito sa industry, no? So, muna siya, lubricate impact drill, select hydraulic, check hydraulic oil level, then mode of training, OJT, apprentice, or internship. Kinsay dapat ano yung mag-conduct sa training dito sa industry. Itang yun niya, foreman, supervisor, no? Or ang ilahang production worker, no? Or factory operator, kung unsa man siya nga methods of activity or task nga activity. Then the venue, either unsa nga industry, Del Monte ba ka, o Nestle, makamura magbutang. Assessment method, ang mag-assess ani is ang industry, no? Siya may mag-observe. Kay kaning atong training plan is imo po na siyang ipakita dito sa tagaan po nimo ani ang industry, no? Amo ni dapat may bawaan sa among trainee. So aware ang industry ani nga mo ni dapat matun-an sa bata kay wala ning sa school. So ini clarification question in our topic this morning. So, unsa inyong nasugdan dito sa progress chart? Unsa nga qualification ba ito yung game ito? Either housekeeping, electronics, SMAW, automotive, electrical installation and maintenance. Kita mo ito, isa ka UC, no? Unit of competency. Like kanina ako ang example dire, di ba? Example dire is EIA man sa electrical, no? So, isa ka UC lang. Then, ang iyang learning outcome. No? Nga dapat may bawaan sa bata, sa trainee. Then, unsay training activity ilang buhaton dito sa industry. Then, mode of training. Siyempre, OJT or internship. Then, staff. Ang ilang foreman dito, ilang electrician, ilang supervisor may mag-conduct. Then, unsay facility, tools and equipment na dapat nila ma-hands-on dito sa industry, imong ibutang. Di ba? Example sa SMAW, di ba? Sa welding. Unsa may dapat facilities, tools and equipment nga wala sa school. O katong TIG welding, no? TIG. No? Special na welding machine. So mo to ibutang nimo dito nga ang bata wala pa gyud hands-on. Then the venue, asa nga industry, assessment method, then the date. Ano lang. So ako na isang i-post dito sa atong Facebook group sa atong activity number 2. Question sa atong activity? Or our whole topic for this morning? Unsay mga question? Bungutan na. None so far? Okay, bungutan na. So, I hoping nga ang inyong activity number 1, mapasa ninyo karon para dili mo malit. Late submission. So, when we say late submission, reduction of points. No? So, every activity that is good for 30 points. 30 points ang every activity. No? So, namoy na miss nga one activity, so dako na kayo na siya nga deduction. So, no question so far. Kindly turn on your camera. Mag-screenshot sa ako.